The power outage at Henderson Power Plant affected 6 states. But the truth not revealed to the media is that the cause of the outage wasn't technical failure, but the electromagnetic effect of a UFO that appeared over the plant. Worker Mike was the sole witness to this. Welcome to Shelley's Mysterious Files. Today I'm sharing with you a story that reveals the real cause of one of America's biggest power outages. We'll speak with Mike Henderson, who works at Henderson Power Plant. Mike, what exactly were you doing that night, and what kind of shift were you having?
Shelley, I've been working as an electrical technician at Henderson Power Plant for 25 years. That night, July 15, 2019, I was on night shift from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. It started like a normal shift. My coworker Jerry and I were doing routine checks in the control room. Our plant supplies electricity to 2.5 million people daily. It's a very critical facility. Everything was normal until 11:45 p.m.
What exactly happened at 11:45? What was the first abnormal situation?
The first thing I noticed was that the readings on the control panel started acting strange. Voltage levels were showing abnormal fluctuations, going from 220 volts to 280 volts, then dropping to 180 volts. Our systems, which are normally very stable, were shaking as if an invisible external force was affecting them. Frequency readings were also going off, rising from 50 hertz to 55 hertz and dropping to 45 hertz. This was very dangerous. I said to Jerry, "What is this? I've never seen anything like this." He was also surprised, said maybe there's a transformer problem, but I wasn't sure. I've been doing this job for 25 years. I've seen all kinds of electrical failures, short circuits, overloads, transformer problems, but I had never seen such an anomaly. It was as if our system was being interfered with from outside.
How long did these electrical anomalies last, and how did they develop?
It continued for about 10 minutes, increasing. There were crazy fluctuations in voltage measurements, suddenly dropping from 240 volts to 180 volts, then rising to 260 volts. This is very dangerous because it can damage all devices in the grid. While Jerry was preparing to start emergency procedures, suddenly everything cut out. Complete blackout. The entire plant was plunged into darkness.
When you experienced the complete power outage, what was your first reaction?
My first thought was that it was a major equipment failure. Maybe one of the main transformers exploded or there was a short circuit in the main transmission lines. But what was very strange was that the outage was very sudden and complete. Normally our systems have multiple fail-safe mechanisms. If the primary system fails, the secondary kicks in. If that fails, the tertiary system works. They shut down gradually, never stop so suddenly and completely like this. This was as if someone had turned off the plant's main electrical switch in one move, and there isn't even such a switch. Emergency generators automatically kicked in, but they were also running unstably, turning on and off, their voltages constantly fluctuating. This was also very abnormal because these generators are among our most reliable systems. Jerry was panicking. "Mike, this isn't normal at all. I've never seen anything like this before," he said. "Let's go outside and check the main transformers. Maybe there was an explosion or something," he said. But we hadn't heard any explosion sounds outside.
What did you see when you went outside?
As soon as I went outside, I was shocked, Shelley. Right above the plant at about 200 meters altitude, a huge object was hanging. At first I thought it was a helicopter, but it was too big, about 100 meters in diameter, disc-shaped. This was 10 times the size of a normal helicopter. It made no sound at all, which was very strange because any aircraft of that size would make a terrible noise. It had a metallic surface shining like a mirror. On the bottom, it had circular lights, a mixture of blue and white, flashing like a pulse. And the most incredible part was that there were electrical arcs around it, as if it was drawing electrical charge from the atmosphere. These arcs started from the plant's main transmission lines and curved toward the object. They were blue-purple colored and seemed to be constantly dancing. Under normal circumstances, electrical arcs go straight, but these were being bent and directed toward the object as if by a magnetic field. Jerry's mouth was hanging open. "Mike, is this real? We're not dreaming, are we?" he said. I was thinking the same thing, but it was very real.
How did these electrical arcs appear? Had you seen such a thing before?
I had never seen anything like this. Normally, electrical arcs go straight, pulled by gravity. This is a basic law of physics. Electricity always takes the shortest path and flows downward. But these were curving toward the object as if alive, as if there was some kind of gravitational force. They were purple-blue colored and constantly in motion as if they were alive. The thickness of the arcs also changed, sometimes very thin, sometimes thickening like lightning, and they made sounds, a very faint humming sound, as if the electrical energy was making music. It was as if that object was using the electrical charge in the atmosphere for feeding, just like we use electricity. But this was much more efficient and uncontrolled. This must have been very advanced technology, because doing such a thing is impossible with our technology. Our electromagnetic fields don't have such sensitive control.
How long did the object stay there, and did it make other movements?
It stayed there for about 20 minutes. During this time, it never moved, just hung there. But the electricity drawing process continued. Jerry tried to take photos with his phone, but his phone wasn't working. My phone was dead too. Even Jerry's digital watch had stopped. It was as if there was a powerful field affecting all electronic devices.
Were you able to communicate with other employees during this time?
No, all our communication systems were down. Our radios weren't working. Phone lines were cut. Normally, in this situation, our central office would call us asking for a status report, but there was no communication. Other shift workers also came. They saw the same object too. Security guard Sam said, "I've been working here for 40 years. I've never seen anything like this."
How did the object move away?
It moved away in a very strange way. Suddenly it stopped drawing electricity. The arcs disappeared. Then it slowly started rising upward. Without making any sound, with a very smooth movement, within 2 to 3 minutes it became a small dot in the sky, then disappeared completely. At that moment, the plant's systems started working by themselves.
How did the electrical systems behave after the object moved away?
Very interesting. As soon as the object left, all systems returned to normal. Voltage levels became stable, generators started working properly. But the strangest part was that all electrical equipment performed better than normal. It was as if that object had recalibrated our systems. This situation lasted for weeks.
How did you report this incident to company management?
I reported it to the shift supervisor the very next morning. He was very surprised at first, but when other workers said they saw the same thing, he took it seriously. We wrote a written report. But what was strange was that there was no feedback from upper management. Normally there would be a detailed investigation for such a major incident. Nothing happened.
How was this outage explained in the media?
It was explained very superficially and inadequately. The media only said a temporary outage occurred due to technical malfunction. Our teams quickly resolved the issue. But this outage had affected 6 states: Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada, Colorado, Utah, and part of California. Millions of people were without electricity. Hospitals switched to emergency generators. Airports were closed. Traffic lights weren't working. Chaos occurred in city centers. People were trapped in elevators. It was very strange that such a major incident was dismissed as just technical malfunction. Under normal circumstances, such an outage would have a detailed investigation, root cause analysis, transparent report published. But none of that happened. Even when some journalist friends requested detailed explanations, the company refused, saying trade secret. Even the Federal Energy Commission couldn't get a satisfactory explanation. The real cause was never explained. The public was deceived.
Did you face any pressure from company management on this subject?
A few weeks later, I was called from HR. They said, "Don't talk to anyone about that night. Don't share on social media." They cited company image and security as reasons. They also made me sign a confidentiality agreement. They implied I could lose my job if I didn't sign. I had to think about my family.
Were there other witnesses to this incident?
Yes. There were 8 of us on shift that night. We all saw the same object, but after company pressure, no one dared to talk. Security guard Sam said once after he retired, "Very strange things happened that night, but didn't give details. Everyone's scared."
Did your understanding of the electrical system change after this experience?
It definitely changed. The way that object drew electricity was contrary to the laws of physics as we know them. It used electricity so efficiently, as if it had much more advanced energy technology than us. Maybe electricity is a much more fundamental energy source for them.
Did similar situations repeat after this incident occurred?
Strange electrical anomalies occurred 2 more times, once in 2020, another in 2022. Both had similar voltage fluctuations, but I didn't see an object, only the electrical signature was very similar. It's as if those beings continue to explore the plant.
Have you heard similar incidents from other power plants?
I've never heard officially, but when talking to friends in the sector, some said there were unexplainable outages. There are rumors that strange incidents occurred, especially at nuclear plants, but no one talks openly. The sector is very closed.
Do you have a theory about why power plants might be interesting for UFOs?
I have several theories. First, power plants produce very large amounts of energy, could be an easy energy source for them. Second, maybe they're studying our energy infrastructure, how we produce electricity, how we distribute it. Third, power plants are very strategic places. If they control these, they can paralyze cities.
Did any physical evidence remain from this incident?
There's no direct evidence because electronic devices weren't working. But there are abnormal electrical data from that night in plant records, voltage graphs, frequency measurements, power factor values. These show very strange patterns. In normal failures, there are irregular fluctuations, but that night there was a very regular, as if mathematical pattern, as if energy was being drawn from our system in a planned way. The company immediately classified this data, said trade secret. But since I was on shift that night, I had taken copies from the computer. I keep printouts at home. These graphs prove that object's existence because no normal technical failure draws energy in such a regular pattern.
Have you ever thought about disclosing these records?
I've thought about it a lot, but it's risky. I still work at the company. I have a confidentiality agreement. If I share them, I'll lose my job. I could be sued. But after I retire, maybe I'll share this data with scientists. People have the right to know the truth.
How did this experience change your view of electricity and energy technology?
I became very humble. I've been working with electricity for 25 years. I thought I knew a lot, but the technology I saw that night was hundreds of years ahead of us. They used electricity so efficiently it makes our era seem like the Stone Age. Maybe there's a lot we can learn from them.
What would be your advice to other workers in the energy sector?
Keep their eyes open and keep records. If they see unexplainable electrical anomalies, they should note the details. Even though companies don't want us to talk, we need to keep this information. Maybe this data will be very important in the future.
Did your thoughts about UFOs change after this incident occurred?
They completely changed. Before, I wouldn't believe in UFOs. I'd say nonsense. But I can't deny what I saw with my eyes. That object was definitely not our technology. I think they came from another planet, and their energy technology is much more advanced than ours.
Do you think these kinds of encounters will increase in the future?
I think they will increase. Our electricity need is constantly growing. We're building bigger plants. If they're really looking for energy, they might come more often. Maybe they're interested in our energy production, trying to learn our techniques.
How should the government's attitude be on this subject?
They should be more open. If these beings are interested in our energy infrastructure, this is a national security issue. The public has the right to know. Maybe we need to look for ways to communicate with them, because their technology could solve our energy problems.
Could you get in trouble after this interview?
I could. The company might be uncomfortable, might sue, citing confidentiality agreement. But I'm close to retirement now. I'm ready to take risks. People should know the truth. This isn't just my story. It concerns the entire energy sector.
How does your family receive this subject?
My wife, Linda, approached skeptically at first, but believed when I explained the details. She said, "You've been working with electricity for 25 years. You wouldn't imagine such things." My children are also supportive. They say, "Dad, tell the truth. This gives courage."
Finally, if you had the chance to live that night again, what would you do?
I would definitely try to take photos. I would keep a camera ready. Also, I would take detailed notes, times, electrical measurements, the object's behaviors. Most importantly, I would try to coordinate with other workers to gather more witnesses. Thank you, Shelley. I'm finally relieved. I hope other energy sector workers will find courage and share their similar experiences, because this isn't just a UFO story, it concerns our energy future.
Listeners, you have heard this incredible story where Henderson power plant worker Mike Henderson explained the real cause of one of America's biggest power outages. Next week, we'll be together again with another mysterious incident encountered by an infrastructure worker. Thank you for joining us.